Welcome back to another new episode of Dangaranpa. No, that's the only intro you're gonna get. Like, there's a dumbbell on the floor and bloodstain on the dumbbell. Mantumo fed file said a blow to the head with an object. That's his work over. Does that mean the dumbbell was actually a murder weapon?
That's right.
So imagine it could be anything else. Locker room dumbbell has been added to the truth. Pow! Section of the handbook. The word bloodlust is written in blood. What's the meaning behind it? Bloodlust. Supposed to got some blood on it. Must have happened during the murder. There's a fresh blood stain on the carpet. It must have been splattered with blood during the murder. I can feel the blood draining out of my own body. It's a dead body. Chihiro's dead body.
Very strange.
The more I look, the more strange it all seems. It must be genocide Jack's hand ego. Well, but
What?
I'm still not sure if he did it. Is that what you wanted to say? I wonder about that. Is there anything else that's related here? Oh no, we still have more detecting. What do you mean? Let's look at Kyoko. We took our time examining Chihiro's fingers. She poked her and probably going over every inch of the lifeless body. You're a very strange woman, you know, not being able to touch a dead body with absolutely no trouble. She seems to be concentrating pretty hard. It's like she can't even hear us. You feel the life.
Very What?
I use the locker room all the time. Now it's become the site of Chihiro's death. But why would she kill in the locker room? Actually, if you think about it, she could have just killed somewhere else and carried her. She was very light, that is true, but it wouldn't be hard to carry her. But still, I don't think she came around here on her own by choice. I missed to say that. She's been talking a lot lately about how she wants to get stronger. She was saying she came here to exercise. But according to the mom's team file, apparently she was killed around 2 in the morning. She really been exercising that late?
Perhaps.
You know, myself are usually in the locker room during the day, so she was probably avoiding it then. Avoiding it? Although we invited her to join us more than once, she never showed up. So I can only assure her she was trying to avoid it. She said she came to exercise in the middle of the night?
However,
perhaps, but it's difficult for me to imagine she would have come alone. She didn't want to start exercising. She specifically mentioned she couldn't do it by herself. She needed support from others. She was saying she could have came in here in the middle of the night to train in secret. When not, she also would have to come with someone else. There's a possibility, I think. Sakura's account has been added to the truth wow sections of the handbook. Dude had a real complex about being weak. There's Shiro talking about it, right? All I need to get stronger. Yeah, I do remember she said that more than once. So did, which I guess explains the trip down here. But did she really need to get stronger that badly? You already mentioned it, but she was a girl after all. Most girls aren't that strong. I don't know, man. I haven't thought about that stuff. Cause of Chihiro complex, all wondering what it might be. Mando's account has been added to the true section of the handbook. And I believe it's about time for rescue. Not already?
What?
New clues won't magically appear by standing around here. So you check every aspect of this case. That's true, but
Let's go.
you're satisfied the story can proceed. Let's go in the boys' locker room. So this is our next location. Huh? This related to an investigation. Figure out yourself. It's not funny to know. Alright, let's head into the locker room. Not even seen the crank, idiot. Hey, shut up. Oh no, we still have more to check here. Bunch of boards. Really? Rotation. Has the rooms been swapped out? If I remember this right, the curve reader was work with our handles, right?
What?
You have an issue with that? If so, you should take it up with Monokuma. He said that it quickly shocked his class's hands together.
Did you call for me?
You called for me? You're in Mexican?
That's right.
It seems that Makoto has a question for you.
You need some?
So what's up? Well, just about the party.
Yep.
Power Raiders have been designed to embrace the feature e-handbooks. You can only enter the block room corresponding to the gender listed in your individual handbook. It's possible for two people to go or to go through while the doors are locked. Correct?
Unbelievable.
If there was some sort of erotic terrors on the trial, assuming Mom that we've done would initiate a Swiss cheese slaughter. And school regulations prohibit anyone from doing any of someone else's handbook.
Of course.
Correctly correct. So then, that means only girls can go on the girls' locker room and boys can go on the boys' locker room. In other words, Shio's body being found in the girls' locker room. Even could have see right through you. See right through me? Let me tell you what he's thinking. So Shiro found the girls' locker room. The killer must have been able to get in.
So, in other words,
such as the killer must be one of the girls. Did I get it right?
such ignorance.
But am I wrong? Should pay close attention to regulations. That's been in front of you the entire time. Loaning your e-handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. Only the act of loaning a handbook is prohibited. Borrowing someone else's is perfectly fine. I would expect nothing less from the prodigal son of the noble Togami family. They managed to sniff out the loophole in the regulations. Knowing you, I bet you created it on purpose, didn't you? To add a little more excitement to things. You're treating me like a puny little appetizer instead of the main course that I am. Now then, since the bread can't actually talk, they're not people anymore, they're things.
Yep.
Got it? Get it? Got it? Good. Wait, hold on, you're saying that that's a loophole, but in order to borrow something from someone, then that means someone has to loan it. So,
Why?
so sleepy. Just listening to you makes me want to pass out. You're more like Yakuza, get your poop together.
Unbelievable.
Or else I'll charge you with criminal negligence. I'm gonna let you figure out the rest of your own damn self.
That's fine.
I know you're unfortunately lacking in mental facilities, so I feel you in yourself. Let's head to the main hall. The main hall? I hope you understand what's going on. Card reader has been added to the bow 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 section of the truth bow 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 section of the handbook. We came to the main hall. So what are we looking for in here? Does that mean I have to figure out for myself? An e-handbook? Oh wait, there's three of them. Well, what are they doing here? We finally found them. How did you know these were here, Yakuza? I happened to find them when it came by chance myself the other day. It proves that there's a system in place where handbooks of dead students are delivered to this mailbox. So then, these three handbooks belong to Junko, Leon, and Sayaka. You can go ahead and confirm yourself. Immediately turn out one of the handbooks, and when it did, Sayaka is Yana. You're right, this is Sayaka's handbook. Now, do you understand? This is the key to the loophole I revealed earlier. And I feel like I'm starting to get it. Pay close attention to the regulations. Answers in front of you the entire time. Loaning each handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. Only the act of loaning a handbook is prohibited. Borrowing someone else's is perfectly fine. I see, yeah, now I understand. Main hall e-handbooks have been added to the truth bow 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 section of the handbook.
What?
Hold on a second.
Very
That's
strange.
strange. One of the handbooks won't turn on. Is it broken? Whose is it? The other handbook showed Joker's thing when it started out. I don't know if it's supposed to be me, right?
I see.
It makes sense, yes. After he did get pummeled with dozens and dozens of baseballs. Pummeled with baseballs. Memory of it came flowing back. The cruel punishment which led to Leon's death. The execution that the mastermind concocted. A cruel, heartless death. You're right. Wouldn't be surprising for the handbook to break during that kind of assault.
Damn it!
Hey, hey! Hey!
No!
Hey! What? Hey, handbook is essential to student life here. Crucial, integral, instrumental, it's a super big deal. There's no way to break that easily, but it did.
That's impossible!
If it wouldn't break, it wouldn't freaking break. It withstands at 10 tons of pressure and it's waterproof for 100 meters, okay? What? Look at how many baseballs you hit with. It won't do crap. Oh, but in my amazing handbook just have one scene at this point. Done?
I can't hear you!
But the secret, we wouldn't want you to go breaking any more handbooks.
What?
And Leon was broken somehow without realizing what its weakness was, right? Hard to say. You know what I think? I think his handbook isn't actually broken.
What?
Well, you might ask, how could that be? Even the question hanging in the air, Monokuma disappeared. What just happened? Monokuma says it's not broken, but it's an undeniable fact that it's not turning on.
That's fine.
I don't see any connection to the case, so it doesn't matter for now. You think so? Either way, something about it still bothers me. Broken e-handbook has been added to the true bow 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 section of the handbook. Okay then, this should be enough to get things rolling. Speaking of investigation, the earnest track down the true culprit. Now he's trying to look to hero. To be exact, not quite. Not quite. I would. Oh, come on, man. The hall door, yada. Machine guns. Another one of those. Surveillance monitor. Talk to you. No. Byakuya. What do you mean by Byakuya? The exact not quite. Certainly only reviews your skills, but more perceptive. Once you discovered the true identity of Inside Jack, then you really believe Inside Jack is the one that killed Shihiro?
Don't make me repeat myself.
I have no doubt that Inside Jack is the culprit in this case. The murderous fiend is Inside Jack, right?
What?
No, there's nobody else. It could be. A murderous fiend who kills again and again using a bizarre and brutal method. They let it go, attacking silently but slipping away before the police can catch up to them. And what nickname did the internet give this mysterious serial killer? Inside Jack. They say he killed thousands of people, but without should be an urban legend. So, could one of us be really a demented psychotic killer like that? And I'm wrong to wonder, but words mean little right now. I have something that will prove it, and I can show you. Are you gonna show me? What do you mean by that?
Don't make.
Yada. Handbox, yada. What do you mean?
Don't make me repeat my.
I have a bias to believe that I assure you there's no Jack is one of us. You're really proof? There's someone elected safety. You can provide all the evidence.
It's all clear now.
Evidence that Densei Jack is the one that killed Shihiro. Evidence is something like that really. Alright, hey, you too. Big trouble. Need your help.
I don't have time to play.
Because, I
It's
mean...
emergency. Oh, please, you gotta help me.
Please!
Serious emergency, you gotta help me. Just calm down,
Because,
man.
I mean...
It's emergency! Emergency, what happened?
Well...
What's wrong with Toko? She's actually super strange. Well, I mean, she's actually pretty good early, right?
Very strange.
Toko, I'm admit, I'm cute. Suppose we could take a second to see what's going on here. Sure?
Don't make me repeat
Maybe-
myself.
Bro. Didn't expect that. I thought you sure to say no, then that'll be the end of it.
Yeah!
Okay, man, hurry. Wait for us.
Let's go.
Especially you got it to the door. Toko's room most likely. You're right. Alright. Still decided some kind of emergency. Right, ring this damn door.
Such
You're talking to the wrong
ignorance.
person. Okay, goddamn. When the door open up. Oh. You guys are too slow. You guys are too fast. So what's the emergency?
So,
After what happened in the girls' locker room, we left Toko in the room, she can lay down. Once in a while, she came at the chair counter and, she got his room, but when we did, it was weird. The police come out and kept saying all this weird stuff. Weird stuff?
That's fine.
That time we were sorry, yeah, good idea. There's no give a shot. Ding dong. Slowly inside. Holy crap. Or negatively flowed up behind the door. What's in gas powder?
what?
Oh, nothing. It's just that, Hina was really worried about you, holding yourself up in your room.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, sure thing. But, could you open up, just for a second?
Won't allow it.
Huh?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control.
Huh? And just like that, she slammed the door in my face. What was that? You act like that the whole time. I rang it a little while ago. I drive out the killer, drive out the murder scene. It doesn't make any sense, right? I was afraid to leave her at the man alone, so I tried to fuck out the door. I felt like something was holding shut on the other side. I couldn't even budge it. Took was scared enough to even on her door. I used to think the same thing as Byakuya. I used to think a serial killer Genocide Jack really murdered Shimura. That way Toko's so scared.
But
Whatever it is, I'm really worried about her. Is there anyone who might be able to persuade her? Hey, Byakuya, do you think you can ask her? No matter the room I need.
That's fine.
Sure, whatever. Huh? You wanna talk to her, Byakuya? I guess you can be nice when you want to. Byakuya stood in front of her door, not making a sound, and pressed the door open. After a few moments,
what do you want?
leave me alone, y'all. So alone.
It's Byakuya.
Byakuya. Sorry, I need to keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I'm gonna say Jack have control over it again. And with that, the door slammed shut. Even Byakuya could pull it off. There's nothing else we could do. Let's get back to the English. Hold on. Let's talk about this now.
What?
I have no idea. I'm not for delusion, I'm sure. But
Stop talking.
if I say I don't know, that means I don't know. Just let Hina take care of her. Oh yeah. I'll stay here to keep an eye on her.
Let's go.
Oh, then let's go. I don't know if I I already scared to catch up. I talked to him several times. He didn't even look back, let alone say anything. Kept on walking towards his destination. On his feet for him to step into a certain room. Library? Come on, let's go in. I'll see the envelope. There's no point in that when you find the food. There's no point. No. I got coins. No! Trying to take out the books. No clues here. No. Seriously? Alright, head in here then. Now remember down inside of the doors, the archive, right? Alright, then go inside. Over here?
Let's go.
I'll make sense with you. Oh. Whoa, there's so many books and files. So much dust too.
So, in other words,
I would say there's enough value in the place and enjoy the dust. So many files, stuff on the shelves. What's in all of these?
that's enough.
The documents are dangerous. They detail all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous to shoot from a commoner. I mean, like members of the Diet or something? I mean, the ones with real power. The secret council controlling everything from the shadows. If you're ready to be disappeared for it, take a look. There's some very interesting people in there. You're just kidding, right? Am I? I'll just let it go for now. Pick one of them. So you have a sharp eye and needed to select that file. Huh?
That's right.
That's a report on the presidential assassination. The original is kept at the National Library. It will be declassified for another 30 years. You sure you want to look at it now? No. Telling whose crosshairs you might wind up for peeking at it. There's no telling whose crosshairs you might wind up in for peeking at it. If I'm making a sound, return the file to the show. There's a ton of thick files stuff on the bookshelf. I think I'm looking for anything. Let me give you a little warning. I was thinking to fill the graphic, disturbing photos from all kinds of crimes. All kinds of crime scenes. It's the kind of thing any normal person wouldn't ever want to look at too carefully. How would you? All those files are investigation reports related to different cold cases. Those internal documents with police eyes only. They're not the kind of thing you she expects at least. Oh. There's a wooden box, empty. Although judging by the smudges in the dust, it looks like there's something inside. I wonder where it was. There's an extension cord plugged in there. It proved very useful. While I was in the library. Extension cord, huh? If you pay attention to your surroundings, you can determine the value to yourself. What's down here? Huh? The desk lamp. Oh yeah, it's the same one I saw Bianchi using in the library before.
What?
You ever found that lamp? Oh, it's here before then I moved over there. Please arc over there, but not according to who you use. Are you finally beginning to understand the true splendor of this library? It's how even I was interested in libraries because this room right here. It's home to
Interesting.
government documents, police records, things no ordinary person would ever see. Isn't it magnificent? This copy's royal, right?
Such.
That's your guy's problem. Adrian doesn't think you're this preconceived reality you label it a lie. Well, not that, it's just, it's not like I totally believe about it. I mean, there's so much. How can anyone like pull this all together? I suppose it goes to show just how much we truly do in open house. The mastermind may have wanted the writers with enough entertainment to keep us from getting bored. No use, I can't keep up with all this, it's just too unreal. What's wrong? Still can't believe it? What about you? I can believe it so easily. Things like that are usually impossible.
What?
What do you mean usually? Usually normal, ordinary, simple things. Those things don't exist anywhere in the real world. You don't understand what they actually represent. You don't understand the nature of anything. You don't pull your punches, do you? Besides, what you consider usual is based on your common sense, right? What makes you think your own common sense applies to me at all? The documents gathered here are genuine, so you need them multiple times. Hold on a second. You say you read all these documents more than once? All these things are top secret confidential stuff, right? So why? My family has a reading room just like this at our home. Ours is bigger, of course, not as dusty. Members of the Togami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. That includes foreign powers as well as domestic. How's that possible?
So, in other
I told
words,
you, there's a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council. Now, within me, the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. Become such a ruler, I must know all levels of this world backwards and forwards. Whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me. Why I can proclaim without a doubt that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Yakuza is actually starting to scare me more than Yakuza is actually starting to scare me more than the master. And what always interested me most was the cold case police investigation reports. Reading through those reports have always been a hobby of mine, but this is how it goes. It's excellent mental exercise. I saw more than a few cases just by reviewing the reports. Among all those reports, one of my recent favorites is the Genocide Jack case. And without Yakuza and a specific file from the show.
that's right.
This is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding the Genocide Jack cases has been compiled in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin with, there are two notable characteristics in every Genocide Jack survivor. The first characteristic is that every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. The second is that where the victims are murdered, the bodies are suspended in a certain way. Bloodlust is written in blood and the victim is suspended. Exactly the same happened to Chihiro. Savior surprise, the best part is yet to come. But the second characteristic, when the victim was suspended, the ones who knew about the particular fact were the members of the police and other higher-ups. Oh, whoops. Hold up. Mounting the victim. Only key officials and the killer himself knew about the act of mounting the victim. Now, do you recall Shihiro's corpse? Her body was most certainly mounted in this fashion. So how could the killer have known about suspending the victim?
That's right.
That's the key question. In fact, the answer is quite simple.
So, in other
The culprit
words,
isn't a copyright killer, it's the real Genocide Jack. Yeah,
in other words,
not right. There's evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the wrestlers. and Genocide Jack really is. Such a brutal, feeling killer and is really walking around among us.
Interesting.
Things are really starting to get interesting, aren't they? I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would ever become a part of our little game. Do you think it would be good for you to take a look at what I've already seen? I might just manage to ferret out a hood or two.
Such
Get down on your
ignorance.
knees and beg, and then even show you myself. What? We've done thick files stuck in the shelf. All those files and investigation reports related to the cases. Yada yada yada. Cool. Already seen that. Bianca, about the genocide Jack case file. Would you let me see it?
That's fine.
Well, if you didn't beg, but I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in here. You can't take it with you. Murder cases of genocide Jack, top secret. Bianca handed me the file in a purple blue with tense nervous fingers. Suddenly my hand stopped. Each page were photos of two and each crime had all been collected. Then the genocide Jack victims ran off the tunnel baby. Ken Harada, 32. Tetsuhiro Honda, 17. Soji Gaku, 23. Kano Isai, 14. Takashi Yoshida, 30. Kamasuna Taro, Takumi Gono, Yoshida Naohisa, Takashi Masamune, Yuto Yumejima. And there is no end to it. The record became perfectly clear as I read. All the killers compositions were killed and suspended in exactly the same way. At the end of every scene, every murder, the word bloodless was left in the victim's own blood. Now I could take a look at the next page. You will find another interesting tidbit. The next page. No following results. All the crimes took place either on weekdays or at night, or during holidays, either day or night. Most common time for killings to take place on holidays in the afternoon. This is practically to suggest that the suspect may be a student. Evidence is direct that the students suspect may be at the scene or when they could be during the time. So the night unit has never come forward. Not likely there's any internal reason for this. Typically favored the shooting cast. The suspect may potentially suffer from dissociative identity disorder.
So, in other words,
The key point here is that the culprit may as well have a split personality. Split personality, like the kind of thing you see on TV. I'm part of another totally unbelievable story. This sounds way more unbelievable than anything else up till now. Or maybe it really isn't. I don't know. I feel like my mind is run numb. Genocide Jack case file is added to the truth. Pow pow pow! Section of the handbook.
let's go.
Alright, let's get going. Where we go? Anyway, but here, we finish our business here. Hey, wait, Miyako. As usual. Alright. Well, this is where we part ways. Have some things I need to figure out before the last shot. Just all of a sudden.
I don't have time to play
Come on,
with
nothing you're knowing misapprehensions. You really think we'd be together the whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Move the investigation forward on your own.
Goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. Looks like that he was gone here. Just as quickly as he asked me to join him, he cut me off. In the end, I feel like I was just replacing his kid across the round. At the same time, I uncovered some really important clues into him. Hashtag got you something for social media. And murder scene, one of us. Who is it? I have to find out no matter what it takes. To do that, there's somewhere I have to go investigate one more time. Back to crime scene. Go to the locker room and check the boys' locker room too. And the others that might have come up with something so useful. At it. At it. I need to find everything I can. Cool. Went out that far then. Let's check this damn boys' locker room. Hey, why you here, fatty? Discover evidence of the identity of culprit.
I feel as
Well,
if...
that's that interesting.
That's it. I'm sure of it.
You sure about that? Miss London versus she witnessed something worthwhile too.
Well, it would seem...
The boy she likes, right? Okay, we're saying how's that going? Not the same side. Not there. What's it gonna be? What are you talking about? Just feel like being on her mind. Bro, come on. Kyoko, any progress in the
Indeed.
investigation? Genuinely speaking.
However,
After get going, I'm thinking I'm really secure. Something besides the investigation, what is it?
well,
Nothing you need to worry about. Just off the trail on the murder. But
so then,
before you go, let me give you one piece of advice. Just examine Chihiro's body one more time. Thoroughly. Also, her handbook is missing. You might want to look at his whereabouts.
goodbye.
That's it. I'll be praying for your success. With that, Kyoko turned and left the girl's locker room. Let's take another look at the body then. Your handbook is missing. That's definitely worth worrying about. Chihiro's e-handbook has been added to the true BOW section of the handbook. Kyoko said I should examine the body one more time. I know she said thoroughly, but I do have my limits. But I better give it a shot anyway. Let's see. Chihiro's hands were bound with a rope. The rope was used proper and it kind of crucifix was in. Huh? The rope has a plug? Wait, so this is actually... Wait, so then this isn't a rope at all. The more I think about it, the more that's not the only thing that concerns me. Chihiro's fate, fatal injury was a blow to the head. It's so struck in the head and no one support. That's right, the issue of her being suspended from the field below. At first I didn't see any reason to think much about either of them. I see them again after the being placed in that file. Something not quite right. That is all See, this is the body added to the true true section of the handbook. But one thing that's most likely to tie all these mysteries together, the true nature of the rope I was used to suspend Shihiro. There's certain places in this rope that gives them look over again. This might help you look at it and say that case file one more time. Shihiro's hands looks at the rope. No. Okay, I already seen this. I already talked to them, but let's see.
Damn. No forgiveness!
The target is such a helpless being is unforgivable. What a wretched beast to such a thing. I cannot forgive this. Mondo Shella. Dude had a real complex about being weak. Yada. Bro, goddamn. Love poster. Big breast swimsuit models pretty noticeable too. Good locker rooms doesn't seem like kind of a place to find something like this. Or maybe because they freaked us off the poster. What bloodlust is written on the wall. That's our jacket cases. What bloodlust is written on the victim's own blood. Is that all? The doors are dealt with the food. I leave now. Thank you. Now let's head to the boys' locker room. Not going with fast though. Wait. I knew it. They swapped posters. Oh, this poster. Popular boy band called Tornado. Somehow it doesn't seem quite to fit in the boys' locker room. Oh, but wait, that reminds me. The poster in the locker room is. That's right. That's definitely something strange like this. The boys' locker room is a poster of popular boy band. The girls' locker room is a poster of big breast swimsuit model. The posters have been switched. They were. Why? What reason would anyone have? Maybe I should talk to someone who knows a little bit more about the locker room. 2 locker rooms have been added to the true BOW section of the handbook. Is anybody out in the pool? Nobody's in the pool? Baller. That's not. No clue. 5. Wait, hold up. No camera. Oh yeah, oh down here. Why is there a shit stain down here? There's a strange stain on the carpet. What is it? Boys' locker room carpet has been added to the true BOW section of the handbook. And besides the boy band, that was just it. We gotta swap. Ah, they swap. Check over here. That's a different. Nope, that's in here.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't care.
Well,
It is being weird, man. No, maybe all the things are gonna investigate. Seriously, that's all the things I can investigate. No. Obviously the card readers. The Gatling gun. Is that all? What else do we investigate, bro? What else do we investigate? Because we got the boy band poster. We got whatever this shit stain is. It could be a shit stain. It could be a shit stain. Surveillance camera. Gatling gun. Card reader. That's really it. Yada yada yada. Got other stuff to investigate. Why am I not surprised? Somebody has to get away with murder weapons.
of course.
I mean, I use it nearly every day since it opened up, since Tina and I use it together. Okay, now let me ask you something. Did you think the person was in voice? Other in girls' locker room have been switched?
I'm sorry.
I really can't say. I didn't really pay attention to this. I see.
However,
But there's something that's been bothering me about the library. See, I like to drink a little protein coffee every time I finish exercising. That protein coffee? In the warehouse. Not the highest quality, but I still have a lot of. I don't have a lot of options. I make protein powder with coffee and down the glass of it after exercising. Anyway, the other day I threw on the carpet, the girls' locker room, and it left a stain. Stain? I don't see any stain on the carpet now.
of course.
Exactly, I noticed it earlier, the stain has disappeared. I'm not really sure someone came along and cleaned it up. But still, isn't it usually clean as if there was never a stain here to begin with? Disappearing stain has been added to the true bow 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 section of the handbook. Alright, now we're done investigating. In this section. My next question is, see, that's Lumberberg, where you at? I thought it. There's some kind of clue, I guess not. We're not gonna just close the cord. Well, that's right. Yeah, because we're using an extension cord. There's no extension cord here now. Library desk has been added to the shoe. Bow 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 bow! Section of the handbook. Letter of the academy, yada yada yada, cool. Gosh, that's nice motive. Okay, clue here, I guess not, no clue there. Nope, no clue in there. Oh, just more books. Head into the archives. Nope. The box. The lamb. Gone. Just want to get out of the archive. I don't really want to do something like that. I don't think you want anyone else but Byakuya. Obviously the camera's there. Nothing else is here, I guess. We're done investigating here. Yes, we're done investigating. I'm done investigating. The next question is, where you at? They just showed over. What am I asking? AOB. Some questions. It's time for questions. Oh, you know, how's Toko doing? Same as before. She won't come out and she just keeps on mumbling about something about genocide. That's just like that. My head was all swinging and I was getting pretty hungry.
Yeah!
Oh, but don't worry, I'm glad to gonna head back as soon as I'm done. Toko's not exactly pleasant, but I'm still worried about it. Speaking of which, what are you eating? A donut, of course. Of course. There's two things I'm good. I'm sure God created outer space and donuts. Really? I bet your hero would like to eat more donuts. Maybe that was her one big regret. I sure tried to spend more time with her. That's unfortunate. Come to think of it, who did she spend time with?
Well...
Yeah, she was a little betraying. She didn't really hang out with other girls too much. It's like she was trying to keep her distance from her. Which is of course just something similar. So that even though you and her invite your to exercise with you, she always refused.
Yeah, totally.
Yep, it's true. It wasn't just us. It scared her from other girls. But she was just shy. I don't know if she touched all the boys all the time. You can always be trying to run your own sex, but really found the opposite sex. Oh wait, maybe if you're used to guys spoiling her. Lots of you can't judge books by its cover, right? Think so? I never really saw her that kind of girl. Or maybe Chihiro's not a girl. Sorry, I just spoiled you guys. A spoiler. Oh yeah. Oh, she's just showing the warehouse. Alright, well, let's just head to this damn warehouse, man. Shileshlanimag. A whole bunch of stuff in here. Oh, bro. London bug. Celeste, what are you doing here? Warehouse is amazing. It has absolutely everything one might need to live a full life, from food to clothes to towels. There's an endless... Bruh. I knew you were gonna ask me that. Hold on. I thought about talking about the warehouse itself might misdirect you, but I see it was pointless. I thought talking about the warehouse itself might misdirect you, but it seemed it was pointless. Then did you find something? Yeah, if you want to waste our time, you freaking butthead. Very well, I will tell you and only you.
Actually,
Last night I saw her here. The hero was in the warehouse. Oh, really?
indeed.
This is right before nighttime.
What are you doing out this late?
Oh, I was just...
Are you planning to go exercise, perhaps?
What? How did you know?
Because I can see a blue track jacket sticking out of that duffel bag you're carrying.
Oh, you're right. Thanks. Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It's almost like she was trying to hide it. Because with that, she was gone.
Yes,
I
indeed.
assumed she was merely stocking up to go exercise in the morning, but it would appear she ignored the nighttime rule and headed directly to the girls' locker room. If she hadn't broken our rule, none of this ever would have happened. You get what you deserve, I suppose. So apparently, she went out to the girls' locker room late at night in order to exercise without anyone knowing. But the strange thing is, there was no big trace of the track jacket cover bag Celeste said she saw him. The hero carried. He was killed without gotten rid of it. Celeste's account has been added to the truth. Bow bow bow! Section of the notebook. Ding dong bing bong. It's time. It's murder trial time.
I'm getting tired of waiting. Shall we just plunge right in? It's the moment you've all been waiting for. The class trial! You remember where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor.
Yeah, no, I'm not hearing all that. You begin the class trial or it's about to begin? Red door is right through there. Alright, well. Class trial time, ladies and gentlemen. Ahem, so is everyone ready to what? Am I blind or missing something?
Yo.
Yeah, Toko's not here.
Huh?
Toko is? You really don't remember?
Come
Look at the
on!
screen, how could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time.
What are you gonna
If you're
do?
lucky, I'll go ahead and drag her out of here keeping the screaming. Just one moment, please. And just like that, he said a few minutes later, he appeared, dragging Toko behind him. I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag a girl around. Terrible, you're terrible. Phew, so now everyone's here, right? Okay, then hustle onto the elevator and let's get this show on the road. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
So shall we go in? Have to find a little kill Chihiro. Chihiro Fujisaki. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problems with her. Except, it's not a her. Spoil again. She made a choice to kill a girl like that. And that murderer is one of us. Someone's standing right here. So can we just dive into the elevator?
It's true.
Yes. The small nod on reply. One last deep breath. Walk towards the elevator on the shaky leg. Each step forward or clear, my heart spiked to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotion, couldn't stop circulating. The steel box sank with heavy clunking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. As we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend unhesitatingly. Until finally, we made it to the class trial. And Kato decided to stop. What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? No one's had time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Very
Good, you're raring to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it, not at all.
Well,
Okay then, let's get the show on the road.
thrills,
Everyone, please find
chills, kills!
Everyone, please find your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly case, deadly class trial. Am I really gonna have to hear all that again every time we go into a class trial? Let's look at this. Proof bullets. Monokuma file, Sakura's account, locker room dumbbell, Manda's account, card reader, the handbooks, the broken handbook, Genocide Jack, case file, accountants, carpet, poster swaps, handbook, Chihiro's handbook, status of the dead body, disappearing stain, library desk lamp, and Celeste account. Alright, we got it. Set spoilers. Really? Let's go. Finish operations. Class trial! All rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
Bit of blood. I forgot all the keybinds for all this stuff. No.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
Uh-huh.
It appears it was a head wound.
Uh-huh.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Shit. Hold on. One more time.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a...
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt...
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Hold on, iron pipe! Hold on! Wait, hold on. Iron pipe, are you kidding me?
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
No!
That's so creepy!
Shut your butt up.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer, could really kill Chihiro. A new element has added to the rest of the race. But I'd like to hear more, of course. Let's debate. Lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your true bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there's a way to keep the white noise from getting in the way. Press the 8 button to attach the silencer, which you can sweep down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have the silencer out. Oh my god. Reactions, difficulties, set to gentle white noise won't appear at all. In which case you can forget about the silencer and focus on the situation for you. Alright, good luck and have fun. Make your argument. Genocide Jake's take 5.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
No proof.
No, that's wrong!
No proof? Are you kidding me?
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be 2 defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right.
boob lust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic. And it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Jack's case was larger than known, Mexican.
I got it!
How the victim was
Apparently,
positioned.
in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie! What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also not to Toko. Genocide Jack, she's not one person with most people, right? Hangman Gambit. Nope. Schizo.
Now I understand.
Schizophrenic. Schizophrenic.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
One thing that shows Toko.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine, yeah. Was that dead body? Hey, are you dead? Yeah. Missouri hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has the front and back, top, ending, and the bottom. See a truth and web lies. It's quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise,
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it.
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't mean...
Yes, we mean it. Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. Huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second...
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see? What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. As she said, I need to get some more details about all of this.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you...
Hold on. Get out of here, freaking moron.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same?
Alright, we got this.
I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this
one. There's one clear difference between the murders. The photos from the other Genocide Jack cases look at the neck and stomach. Clear difference. The fatal injuries.
I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce!
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right, the second difference is how she was suspended. In the photos of Genocide Jack and other people were killed with strapped to their hands. How can you see a clear difference? Oh, it's used to suspended.
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrist.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
There's a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims and Chihiro didn't fit. Even if the movie some notices.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Killing hens, all men. They're all men.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the movie side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely. when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot! So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore! Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah! That's why we figured it had to be the real deal, and not some copycat killer or whatever.
One person could have copied genocide Jack cases.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it! The adorable glasses man was behind it all! Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
In the locker rooms, they're suspicious, very suspicious. Indeed, when you were there, quite suspicious. Please, nobody says locker rooms. It's a front of the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then. What's so strange about it? Go ahead. Share with the rest of the class.
There's a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. Let's make it clear to everyone. New elements are added to non-stop debates. Absolutely. Next, we're going to add something called a truth flashback. Being in a weak spot, hold down the Y button, and you'll memorize that weak spot. Memorized phrase can be shot once as a single truth bullet. You shoot or change the truth bullet is veered from your truth cylinder. Use the flashback feature as many times as you want. Hold up. It might be wise to memorize this from weak spot and use that to make your case. The next time you use flashback, or you just have to use your keywords to look through. Good looking at fun. What's your argument?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out,
That's a natural reaction. The victim was Chihiro, so of course I would suggest there was no time for pointless. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Byakuya comes up with
So, you said Byakuya, but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity,
That's a natural.
The victim was Chihiro.
who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker. There was no time. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird, but he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions.
Hold on, scroll down.
What's so strange about...
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting, but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was... So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker. There was no time for pointless distraction. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
The victim was Chihiro. Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird, but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's a natural reaction.
The victim was Chihiro. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya, but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was... So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Okay, hold on.
So, you said Byakuya, but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who... So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind, but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distraction. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... How?
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's unnatural.
The victim was... So of course I would... There was no time... What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Okay, hold on.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was...
Got it.
No, it's wrong. I'll tell you what's so strange about that, because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it?
Yeah, his attitude, he's like, he doesn't even care. He got a corner, but he's acting like he has nothing to do with it.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The difference is, you see in this case and the other Genocide Jack murders, they have any proof that the responsible is hidden there. Look at the beat. Library desk one.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with some kind of rope.
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get...
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Cap. That's cap. That's ultimate cap.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. And he's as if he's not even involved. He's not even involved.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what—
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body is definitely not found in the girls' locker room, but does that mean I really just accept what Byakuya said as the truth? I don't think so. There's definitely something about the scene of the crime. The scene of the crime!
Say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
Yes, we do, because the posters and the carpet.
I believe I do.
Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved up to the crime scene, Byakuya had been confident up until now. Maybe Byakuya was never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey! Don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed?
Come on, if there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence to show place somewhere else, someone's... Yes! Hold on. The locker room posters.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker room. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet, but I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. Hold on. Where is it? Yes!
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible. don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room? And to get into the locker rooms, you have to swap. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker. She had no way to get into.
No, she did have a way.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you.
Yeah, cause she... Oh wait, hold on, the e-handbooks. Yes, the e-handbooks. The e-handbooks. Oh, we got this. We got this in the bag.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boy?
She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer.
After all.
I'm sure that would have.
No, I don't. She used the thing. Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course. If she had that, she
God
could
damn it.
get into the boys' locker room no problem.
Hold on. Look, handbook, we can really say that she used it.
Is it really? Could Chihiro really have gotten?
She must have hacked her e-handbook.
Nope. No. Hold on. Contradiction in there somewhere.
Is it really? Could Chihiro really?
She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer. I'm sure that would have been.
No, I don't. She used the thing. Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
There you go.
No, that's wrong.
That's wrong, boy.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and.
Psst. You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook.
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, but Byakuya was the one who did it, really? Still, I don't know what else I could do.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right?
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What? What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Alright, guess we're going then. So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We gotta head off with Kyoko in the lead. And where she took us was right back here.
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom! What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands? No, wait.
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
Are you sure?
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Putting her hands together and leap first. Sakura and the good to quietly examine her body.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What?
What is
this? What is this?
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eyes were staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy.
Ah, I see.
So she was actually...
She was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
What? You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was
a guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, no, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting. Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy. The thought had never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well,
No.
without a doubt, Byakuya's the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility, because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
Yaka didn't do it. And who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure to know about the killer. Who was able to gain access to the room never seen. Oh, there's that room. Nice number.
Shoot!
Hold on. The guy. Since the crime scene was the boys' locker room, you need the boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook was apparently broken before we knew your own. Only way to even die. It's still not enough. I just need to find some more clues. Okay, cool. We got this. So that's the count.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are what? Did nobody get a look? I'm sure if someone saw the killer,
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the killer? And only the killer.
There you go.
No, it's wrong.
Got it.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
I better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship! The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we
But knowing what we know...
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
you know who the killer is.
Seriously? Who is it?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items.
Are you sure about that?
Wait! Mondo!
You really think we can figure
like,
out who did it
remember?
based on two
Okay,
pieces of
I don't know if y'all
evidence
watched
that we
the
don't
last
have?
episode or not, but like, remember when Mondo was saying a promise like to Chihiro? That is, oh my god.
Why? You want to
Mondo.
track? Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Okay. Interesting. With your argument. So that's the count.
First of all, we know where he was on his way to go exit, so next we have to ask, why did he choose this?
What do you mean, the specific?
I got it! It matched the one that comes.
So, what? The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
Uh-huh.
I don't even because exercising.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse.
Did any of that really help us get any?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said.
Hold on.
First of all, wait, he was on his way, so next week, why did he choose?
What do you mean, the
I got it! It matched the one.
So, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit? My tracksuit is black.
Get out of here. Fuck.
Shoot!
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
He was on his way, so next we have to. Why did he choose?
What do you mean, the
I got it! It matched the one that comes.
So, the killer was wearing the same blue... My tracksuit is...
I don't even because exercising.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse. If you must.
Did any of that really help?
Hold on, wait, hold on.
Not
Hold
a
on.
chance.
You heard him.
Hold on.
First of all, wait, he was on his way, so next week, why did he choose?
What do you mean, the
I got it! It matched the one.
So, the killer was wearing the... My tracksuit.
I don't because exercising.
I have a white tracksuit personally.
Get out of here.
Shoot!
First of all, we know where Chihiro.
He was on his way to. So next we have. Why did he choose this?
What do you mean, the...
I got it! It matched the one that comes.
So, what? The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a track because exercising.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What?
Hold on.
He was
He
on his
headed
way
to
to. So
decide.
next we have to ask.
Why did he choose the specific tracksuit?
What do you mean, the
I got it! It matched the one that.
So, what? The killer was wearing the same blue... My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have because exercising.
I have a white tracksuit. I got it from the warehouse.
Did any of that really help us?
No way.
Not a chance.
You heard him, right? First of all, we know where he was on his way to go exercise, so next we have to ask,
Why did he choose the?
What do you mean, the...
I got it! It matched the one that comes.
So, what? The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Get out of here.
No, that's wrong.
Get out of here. We got it.
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
Some stuff in the church jacket and some double back. Then I assume he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Cherry?
Are you talking about Chihiro? So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed the jacket into his hand. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. I just thought she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Yeah.
It would appear you dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
The way he talked, the way he was acting.
There was a certain turning. Maybe you didn't notice it. You only called Gus, and after he was killed, once I picked up on that.
Are you a witch? She's a witch!
No, I'm not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, did your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found on the ground, man. It's Chihiro. Actually, maybe Mondo. Nope.
Shoot!
Hold on. It's Chihiro.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact, I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
Wait, the dumbbell.
I got it!
Hitting its weak point.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip. but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then...
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already! Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa! Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their hand...
Hold on.
Here's my answer.
Yup, Mondo.
Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
Yeah, I'm shouting it out. Hold on. We got it. We getting this. Broken e-handbook. Pardon me.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Wait a minute.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Hold on. Okay, we got this.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if then that proves...
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Cap.
No.
That's cap. That is cap. That is cap.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, Is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall. Isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch. What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning. That way, everything will become clear.
Oh, Silas. Okay, so we already have that. What else do we need? Okay, so got this one. Oh, she was leaving. In Act 2. Okay, Act 1, Shichiro walks in and then hold on. Looks at her and leaves. Working out and then hold on. Cooked. Hold on, let me cook. Where the hell the in? Oh, there we go. Head in. And then we're cooking. wait, and then get rid of this. Then she head inside. And then, oh yeah, she talks about the, no. And then my guy over here is working out. And then murder happens. Oh yeah, and then you swap with a poster. You swap with the poster. Look at my roaster. Where's that video? Yeah, remove this, put this there. Yeah, get in here. Go inside. And then inside the girls' room. And then this is where the original poster is. Again. Oops. Wrong one. And then push it forward. And then run lust. And then move in the room. Did you see it? No. Go up here and then, oh yeah, and then shut the door.
Here's exactly what happened. First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct?
There you go.
At the time, she was apparently
You're cooking.
stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste?
She left.
With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room? Simple, because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him.
Hey, what you trying to say?
It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet, then removing the bloody poster, and finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course, but this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation. So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook.
Nope. Sitting there.
The killer is you! And around the same time that the killer there...
There you go.
And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out.
There we go. Isn't that you, Mondo?
Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
Oh, you're a cook.
Wait! No! This can't be right! Where's your evidence? Yeah! Where's your evidence? You need evidence! You need proof! Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him!
Evidence that Mondo's killer revealed itself earlier in the trial is somehow show where Mondo's handbook is right now. Once I do that, everything will become clear. New element that Yes! Let's talk about a little bit fever time and nega time. And no, I did not say the N-word. Press the RB button. Fever time will activate and tempo will be forced to its max. Hold on. These guys are cooked. If you even push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you push A, Y, however you want to destroy the opponent's verbal assault. But this only lasts until your focus gauge runs out and look at the possible use of your time. Cards will only be fair if only you got access to special time, right? So you're supposed to prepare something called the Nega time. N-E-G-A. That's your opponents can use. If the opponent activates Nega time. Bullet time bound, the tempo marker is superior, making it quite a bit tougher to hit buttons in the rhythm. If you were activated fever time at this point, oh never mind, I'm sure nothing will happen. I don't know what I'm worried about. Unsurprising reaction difficulties to potential your opponent will use N-E-G-A time. Well then, good luck and have fun. Moment of truth.
Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! I won't listen! False! I refuse to vote! Show me some evidence! You're wrong! I won't listen! I refute you! False! Show me some evidence! Listen! False! You're corrupt! I refuse to vote! I refute you! Show me some evidence!
This should prove it.
Get out of here!
If my thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I did it. I killed him.
Yeah, baby, we got it. Hey, 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 what you trying to say? We got a freaking 8. Nice, more money.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that!
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting! No holding on! Time for the moment we've all been waiting for! Grab your lever and
give it a yank!
Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice? Or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
We'll see. Monokuma vote time! Guilty!
What?
Uh-oh, this time it looks like you got it right again. Yes, it is so. The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was Mondo Owada. In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're threading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way he will kill someone.
Sorry.
Sorry.
What is this?
Why are you apologizing? Why? Why did you do it?
Now then.
Well, it looks like Mondo's taking a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually,
the story of his murder this time is the sad story of 2 men. But for anyone who really doesn't want to hear it, you can hit the B button to press forward the text. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He heard things like that as soon as he could remember, and he couldn't even overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and bury himself further and further into that weakness, to take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody will be able to say anything about even though you're a boy. But no matter how tight he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferior complex had already taken root deep inside of him and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear, instead it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak, 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 weak.
Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack and the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair.
What?
And yet...
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I don't really want to talk about it right now.
But...
I also want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. I thought I'd try my best to become strong, then I could tell everyone. Knowingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to change.
I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Sure, strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay, I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so, that day he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to train his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it. Damn.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, then ask him to help him from there. And that person he went to?
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. Yep, it sure was. The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep that secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help me give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then that must be why Mondo did what he did to keep that promise he made to Chihiro. Huh? Did what he did? You mean that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
Yep, that's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think that was the main reason. The real purpose is to keep the promise between men he made Chihiro.
But
How does moving the body keep his secret?
Because
Because if everyone knew he had been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got in the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity, so we tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook, see? Then Mondo did all that just to keep the promise he made to Chihiro, who he also killed. Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why? Why did you? Because no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it, after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know, even if it was meant killing someone.
You're wrong!
It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat
How many times
myself.
must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, you obviously can. That's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? An embarrassing memory, the secret that he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and rip-raps across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place, because of a certain someone. Mondo's older brother's name was Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother's his only family growing up. He was the only Mondo he could trust. Mondo could trust and respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, his characteristic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. And before anything knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Aya, the older brother, number one in the gang, and his number two, the younger brother, Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy. But when Mondo started to think how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo was just along for the ride. Because someone like that would be really a leader. All that do is make her a gang with that. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other members of the gang, which is why
I
gotta
just
get stronger. Stronger than Daya. Let's just one time. No matter what, I gotta.
Don't fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top. And the night of his amazing young brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during that race, tragedy struck. The kid pushed ahead with his reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashing to oncoming traffic. But suddenly, laying in his kid's brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. "My bad, kid. I fucked up. Sorry." Of course, he knew it was his brother's fault, but I had never blamed him for what happened. "Hey, kid, the rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. Because it's the team, you and me, put together. It's a promise between men." He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together and to keep the promise to his brother, he could never admit to anyone else his own weakness that caused the accident. As a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who bested his big brother. Daya was gonna lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to leave the team so bad he was willing to take all kinds of lies about his brother.
I just...
I'm strong. Strong. And yet, as soon as the killing game began, we realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And the lovely, hateful Monokuma announcement revealing various secrets, at that point it was clear I have no problem shedding light on the secret. Mono killed his older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt we'd been carrying around, it would have been for nothing. So that's why I Mondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my hand filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling around. I never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, this fuzzy uneasiness turned into a rock-hard lump of anxiety weighed down in my stomach. And it was right around then, and Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously, Jesus.
I'm sorry.
I'm lying to you. But why? Why not? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
Because I mean, you kept this secret the whole time. Then we found out you would.
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. Its words were like a knife to my gut. I felt like it was exposing the lie I've been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong, I can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am?
What?
I should be able to tell everyone my secret?
Huh?
I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. Yeah, the strength to face his own weakness and try to overcome it. This kind of strength I never had. So I was jealous of him, and that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong? Are you fucking with me right now?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I can hear something starting to crack. Something inside of my head. What do you want me to do? What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to just sit back and let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Damn
you!
you!
Tell me that, all that. Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to...
I really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right, I am strong. I'm strong.
Yeah.
Strong. Stronger than you!
You son of a bitch!
Stronger than Daya! I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was laying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him, down on the ground. Hey! I killed him.
I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Mondo, he was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness that lived in a heart like his and was toward him cold-blooded. God damn it. Look at him, you see? You're all just like him. For a secret from the past from her memories. Or that, he killed another living human being in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true faith is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? Because I sure don't. You bastard! Just shut up, you son of a bitch. Go ahead and say that again. I dare you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say it as many times as what is what I want to say, but unfortunately I can't do that right now. It's time because it's time for punishing because time for punishing is fast approaching. Punishing?
It can't be.
You mean execution?
Well now.
That disturbs the peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Hold on.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For Mondo Awada, the ultimate biker gang leader. No, wait.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I said wait!
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
Oh, it's punishment time! Rip Mondo. Dun 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 dun. Oh. Look at that. It changed the cage of death. Oh, he gone. No more Mondo. He gone. Beep, beep, beep. Brr. Mondo butter. Oh Lord. Oh, got turned into butter. Butter. Laugh at death, and your soul will forever be at peace. It can't be. My brother. Another murderer, another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. As Sokka's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again. But he, of course, had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game? Byakuya?
What is
You're
this?
completely insane, you know that? A game, one of our friends is dead. You realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do, because this game is life or death.
Hey,
I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response except
however...
that. I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of the way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting. His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone. Last night when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So you ignored the nighttime meal too. That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it.
There is nothing to be done.
I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late and I decided to return to my room. That's why I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girl's locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse. What? You mean you actually witnessed the murder? He was such a fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I see him.
Well...
So you're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning?
That's right.
Indeed. In fact, in the end of it, how boring would that have been? I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up. You did all that to liven things up.
I see.
Not to hear Genocide Jack from Toko. You decided to use that to create fake murder scene? But damn, man. You haven't figured out who really done it. You'd have been dead too, right? Well, obviously I would have revealed the truth before we reached that point. Of course. Yakuya turned to me and looked in the eye. I could feel sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did. I was able to form an interesting experiment. Once I do decide to become blackened, I now know who I'll have to watch out for. Well,
Correct.
that was your reason. Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
Indeed, we're done listening to your story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma.
What's this?
Oh, I'm up next.
You
like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is why? Do you like them? But you know, this punishment, this despair is not just for you. All this punishment, all this despair is my gift to mankind itself.
What?
You're over-exaggerating. I'm not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair.
Damn.
What do you mean?
Huh?
Mean? Mean? Mean?
What the heck?
Mean.
Damn it!
Good grief, I don't understand why you have to pick up apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm gonna stand alone with the victor, and everything will be revealed to me.
Ooh, how exciting!
Ah, the noble son of a noble family. Truly, you understand me. I can decide for terrifying friendship.
That's enough.
Shut up. I'll never stoop to the level of childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I achieve complete victory, you're up next. I want to find you and kill you, understand?
In the name of my family.
In the name of the Rami family for which victory is a foregone conclusion.
You're getting all riled
so
up!
Cool. It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mob for you. I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you. Temper. Someone, sounds like someone needs a nap. Monokuma's laughter peeled across the courtroom, and the curtains closed on the case of Chihiro and Mono. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game was still continuing, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part. You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now. So just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
There's one thing I'd like to ask.
As long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away.
Who is it? The 16th high school student.
Ooh. My, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied. Because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
Boy's life of despair. Well, the end of chapter 2. Damn. Rest in peace. To be continued. Receive the crazy diamond feather. Yes, save data. Yes, sniff. Sniff. Ayo?
I know I shouldn't cry,
Hina?
but I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. Getting out of here anytime soon, it's impossible. I can't let myself think about how much I want to get out of here. If I keep thinking like that, I might decide to.
Donuts. I need to eat some donuts. That'll cheer me up. glazed donuts, twisty donuts, jelly donuts, cream filled donuts, donut holes, malasadas.
Okay.
Oh god, of donuts. I'm praying for a wonderful encounter. What the hell? Sniff, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for breaking the nighttime rule. But right now, for me, donuts are absolutely necessary. Huh?
Huh?
What's that sound? Sounds like coming from the bathhouse.
But...
I'm super scared, but... Is it something there? Yes. What the hell? What the hell? What the helly? What the hell? The morning after the conclusion of the second class trial. Everyone stood up in the dining hall like always. It was expected to start like any other day. That's unexpected, but actually, you know what? This is where we actually end. Nah, okay. But yeah, this is where we will end for chapter 2 and also part of chapter 3. So yeah, if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, see you guys in the next episode. Peace.